All right, I'm Jason Whitlock. He's Marcellus Wiley. That dude?
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome to Speak for Yourself, a safe space for football fans. Coming up, Errol Spence Jr. will be here for a preview of his fight with Sean Porter on Saturday.
Champ.
And an hour from now, we'll tell you if Cam Newton starts another game for the Panthers this year. But we start today in Green Bay. Let me give Aaron Rodgers the same advice he loves to give Packers fans. R-E-L-A-X. Relax. The Packers are 3-0, headed into their Thursday night football showdown against a desperate and snake-bitten Eagles squad that has lost 2 of its first 3 games. But Rodgers sounds like the quarterback staring up at the undefeated Cowboys rather than the QB sitting atop the NFC North.
It's time for us to do our part on offense moving forward. We're going to play some, a stretch of really good football teams. And at some point, we can't expect our defense to shut everybody down. They have been. But at some point, the offense is going to have to wake up and start making some plays.
I get it. Green Bay is averaging 19 points per game and just 4 points in the second half. Through 3 games, Rodgers has thrown for about half as many yards as Patrick Mahomes. Green Bay's pedestrian offense has been good enough to beat Mitch Trubisky, Kirk Cousins, and Joe Flacco. Starting tomorrow night, Rodgers is going to square off with a string of offenses led by QBs better than that trio. Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford, Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, Phillip Rivers, and Jimmy Garoppolo. Rodgers is on edge. He's in a new relationship with head coach and play caller Matt LaFleur. Rodgers has never been carried by his defense. It's uncomfortable. It's beneath his considerable talent.
We've never wanted to just manage the football game around here, so the standards are very high for us. We got to play a lot better on offense. We've played some good defenses, no doubt about it, but the standard and the expectations are very high here, and we haven't met them on offense.
Let me repeat, R-E-L-A-X, Aaron. Don't put unnecessary pressure on LaFleur or your teammates. And here's why. Aaron Rodgers is still Clark Kent. If it becomes necessary for Rodgers to step into a phone booth, put on a red cape, paint an S on his chest, he can do that. I don't have any doubt in my mind Rodgers can start audibly going off script and scoring points. But it's too early to do that. No reason to force anything. Play mistake-free, avoid turnovers, and let LaFleur figure things out. Don't get antsy. Rodgers' comments will make people think he's dissatisfied with his new coach. It comes across like he's saying LaFleur isn't meeting the standard Rodgers set previously. Relax, Aaron. The Packers are right where you need them to be. All right, joining the desk now are Fox Sports NFL analysts Mark Schlereth and LeVar Arrington. Marcellus, I'll start with you.
Yes.
Is Aaron Rodgers putting unnecessary pressure on his new head coach?
No, he's not. Aaron Rodgers has realized offensively the check engine light is on. So I'm not going to wait for this car to break down before everybody starts to panic. Aaron Rodgers, being the genius he is at this position, realizes that 2 metrics in particular is telling him this is not sustainable and this offense is going to let our team down. One is the Packers are 3rd worst in the NFL in 3rd down percentage. Woo-wee. That's good. That ain't good, brother. You know why? That's the money down. And if you're not good on the money down, sooner or later you're going to run out of some money. And the other metric is 2nd most 3-and-outs in the league. Ooh, that ain't good. In company with the Jets and the Cardinals. So think about this. They have the 2nd best scoring defense, and they're realizing, at least Aaron Rodgers has, we're going to wear these dudes out. This is not sustainable. We're going to kill them because we're not sustaining drives. We're getting off the field too often. And what's going to end up happening? This seesaw effect of where that defense is going to start to feel this pressure, and they're going to cave. What are we going to do then? So beyond all the personality, motivations that Aaron Rodgers has, he's actually looking at the analytics. He's actually looking at his roster, and offensively is saying, we better fix this or else.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I'll give you another word, H-O-N-E-S-T, honest, because that's what he is. We're going to have to be a heck of a lot better as an offense than we are right now. I look at the Packers as kind of the dynasty that never was. Right, you had Favre for 15 years. You won 1 world championship with him. You've had Aaron Rodgers for, what, 14 years now? And you've won 1 world championship with him. You've had 2 of the best quarterbacks in the history of the game and you as a franchise have 2 world championships
Let me ask you this,
over what, a 30-year period.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
You think Matt LaFleur isn't aware of the stats Marcellus rattled off? You think Matt LaFleur is lying to himself?
No, I went deep with those. Nobody knows. I mean, I'm just telling you.
No. I know that Matt, I know that he knows that, but listen, man, just because you got the eau de McVay on you, right? Just because you rubbed up against McVay and got some of his cologne on you doesn't make you ready to coach. Woo. So there's a lot of those guys in this league right now that got jobs because they rubbed up against McVay. So you know what? You rubbed up against him. Now it's time for you to get that offense going. And if you and your quarterback don't see eye to eye, you know what you better do? You better figure out how to make you and your quarterback see eye to eye. How about that?
How about that?
I just think Matt LaFleur is aware that they're struggling, and there's no reason for the most talented quarterback in the league other than Pat Mahomes to breathe life into that.
When you're new and you're rebuilding or you're building for the first time what it is that you're going to do as a team, the offense lags. The offense historically is always behind.
Yeah.
Is there too much pressure on him? No, there's not too much pressure on him. Everybody stated the obvious. I mean, add Lombardi into that. You come in as a head coach in Green Bay, before you take one snap, I don't care who your quarterback is, who your franchise player is. Lombardi was the coach there. You're in Titletown, the Cheeseheads, Green Bay Packers. It's not too much pressure on them. But the reality of it is that you play some quality teams. This was not a pushover, a breeze through 3 games. The Bears, they have one of the most premier pass rushers and defenses. The Vikings have premier players and premier pass rushers on their team. The Broncos have premier pass rushers on their team. You're talking about 3 very, now even though the Broncos are failing to launch this year, they are still a talented, gifted defense. So to say that, we got to do better, I think he's just taking ownership over what they need to do moving forward. And LaFleur would be best served. Why not? Why not?
I mean, he's not taking ownership because, again, when you say we have a standard here, Matt LaFleur was no part of that. So basically, he's telling Matt LaFleur and breathing life into life, we're not meeting the standards and the things that Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy have done here previously. So I don't hear ownership. I hear like there's a new element and it's not meeting our standards.
But even yet and still, maybe not ownership over the way LaFleur may be guiding the offense or the way he wants the offense to be, but taking ownership over whether you're right or wrong with your point, he's still taking ownership over we have to find what it is that's going to work for us in this scenario. And I think that that's the ownership part of it. And LaFleur would be best served to figure out what that is. Find that formula.
Yeah, but that is still going to be digested as pressure. And he is putting pressure on his head coach, in part because he's feeling pressure. Let's just be real about that. The psychological approach, if you're Aaron Rodgers the Great, right now, you're feeling the pressure of, wait, I'm in a new system. And in a new system, I'm lagging behind some of the other greats who are out there still getting it. And if you look at this situation, he's applying the Kobe mentality. And Kobe's mentality always was, I want to win, but I also want to be the reason why. And if you think about it, Aaron Rodgers is like, look, I can't be going out there throwing 230 yards and we scraping by in victories with this defense-led team, even though it can accumulate to team success. Last time Green Bay had a top 10 defense, you know what happened? They won the Super Bowl 2010. So in all, it can work. But right now, Aaron Rodgers is feeling like there are young guys who are coming up, getting attention, cachet, Q rating. There are guys who've already been here, and they are still winning. And now I'm in this struggle system that is giving us the wins and losses, but not giving me my shine.
Personnel, too, though. It's new personnel. A lot of the success that Aaron Rodgers was having, you have a receiver that was a quarterback, a very cerebral and a very smart quarterback playing receiver in Randall Cobb. All right, you got Jordy Nelson, who was a super cerebral guy. Let's not put all of this on Aaron Rodgers as to why he had so much success during that run. You had some very, very intelligent guys out there on your staff.
You didn't have Matt LaFleur.
So let's look at this offense, because I know this offense well. One of the issues that I think Aaron Rodgers probably has with this offense is this offense believes that they have all the answers, written into the offense. So we don't need to give our quarterback the opportunity to change plays. You heard Aaron Rodgers talk about this in the offseason. Man, I got 11 years of starting or whatever it is, 12 years of starting, and 12 years of knowledge of what defenses are doing. Why can I not use that knowledge? So there has to be a melding together of these two basic philosophical approaches, because in this offense, it's more about, all right, we have this play, we're going to run it, we'll can it with this play if we get a certain look. That's how it's run. So you've got two plays and say, we either run this or we can it. And a lot of what they want to do is get up the line of scrimmage, regardless of what you give us as a defense, we're running our stuff. And the answers are built in. And in this day and age of football, a lot of these quarterbacks want to be in shotgun and go, let me pick what we want to do. And there's a struggle there that goes on between quarterbacks of this day and age and coaches that want to run this system. And they have to find a happy medium where we can still do what the coach wants, but occasionally we got to come out there in no huddle and let me be in control for a series, right?
I'm going to call an audible here and throw y'all.
Oh, man, he just LaFleur said not to do that.
I'm going to do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm going to tell you the reason why. You made me do it. I was going to save this until tomorrow. But you took me down there. Let's analyze the personality of Aaron Rodgers. I think Marcellus hinted at it. But I think there is some jealousy issues here. Patrick Mahomes is setting a new standard at quarterback, and he is now the most talented quarterback in the league. Tom Brady is 42 years old, playing like he's 32. And Aaron Rodgers, I do think there's some ego involved here, and like, I want to get my numbers like these other guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I didn't hint at it. I said that, damn it. Don't be trying to go over here regurgitate. No, I love this. His mentality, all right, I know Aaron Rodgers in this sense. He's looking at the landscape. And in the landscape, let's just be real. Tom Brady balling, Russell Wilson balling, Breeze and Big Ben are hurt, but still, you got to respect them. And then all of a sudden, there's this other tier of Dak Prescott out there getting it. Patrick Mahomes, as we know, he's tier one. And then there's these guys like Daniel Jones. What is that? Minshew, what's that? Kyle Allen, Deshaun Watson, what's this? Oh, and you can't poke a hole in the resume just yet. So you add that up, then you add up what Bucky Brooks has shown to all of us, a line of demarcation of before Aaron Rodgers and after Aaron Rodgers. And he knows his expiration date is somewhere on the horizon. Who knows when? He turns 36 this year. And then you start adding all that up, and you out here throwing for 230 yards. You're like, wait a minute. Don't forget how we even got here. Don't even forget why this is an attractive destination.
Don't get rid of me.
Don't get rid of me to go get this.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Aaron Rodgers is.
That's pretty deep, man. I mean, when you look at it from that perspective and you say, wow, when you do, because, I mean, look at what happened to Favre. This show must go on in Green Bay. So now it makes more sense.
I want to bear down on this, and then, Mark, I want you to jump in, because LeVar, at one time, coming out of high school and college, you were a guy that was like, man, this dude could be
the best.
Of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
He can be right there with
Mike
Singletary, Dick Butkus, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers just 2 or 3 years ago was in the conversation as the GOAT. Yeah. He's no longer in the conversation as the GOAT. I don't even think it's a negative, but it's a reality. He wants to fix that.
Well, I think the bigger issue here, even more so than being recognized and being in the conversation as the GOAT, is you can't phase me. Do not position me to phase me out of here based upon the lack of production. Because now,
Ain't nobody phasing him out.
Well, I mean, think about it. If there is a lack of production and the team is not as successful as it needs to be at that age, it very well could happen. That show's still going to go on.
Aaron Rodgers is not in the same place that